Hi, I'm Ryan Dawes, editor of Developer and IoT News, and I'm here with Ian Bernstein, who is the founder of Misty Robotics. So that's well up my street, as you can imagine, being both a development and IoT-based product. So Ian, you were known mainly for starting Sphero Robotics. What made you start Misty Robotics?
Yeah, it was kind of actually back when we were starting to work on BB-8. I was out in LA with my co-founder at Sphero, Adam, and we were like, why can't we make a real R2-D2, a real BB-8, right? A real robot in your home that's doing actual useful things for you. And thinking back to when I was a kid with the Jetsons, with Rosie, and we started to work on it. So we started to prototype some stuff within Sphero. A couple years into that, 2 years ago now, we spun out Misty Robotics just to be more focused.
Yeah, I think that's a real-life R2-D2 and a real-life Jarvis is kind of the geek dream of all of us who are into technology, really. I did notice on your Twitter profile, actually, you started building robots when you were 12.
Yeah.
I think I started around the same age with a magazine that my dad used to buy me called Real Robots. I think he spent about 500 quid on that magazine and all it was just a tiny little robot which followed a line, mostly.
That's awesome.
I know, everyone's got to start somewhere. So Misty 2 ships this fall. What's changed from the first incarnation?
So we've done a lot. So the first one was basically to get it out there, get it to some people and see how they would use it. It was all laser cut. We actually made those in our office in Boulder, Colorado. Misty 2 is all injection molded plastics. It's a lot more capabilities. Far field microphones work, mapping and navigation, so a lot more functionality, a lot easier to use. We've improved the development tools. We've taken a lot of that feedback from the first one and incorporated it into the second one that we're shipping soon.
Wonderful. So from what I understand, Misty 2 has some built-in deep learning and AI capabilities. Can you tell me a little bit more about what they can do?
Yeah, so Misty is a robotic development platform. Like, think of it just like another API, like we're here at Twilio Signal. They have lots of APIs. This is just an API for the real world. So you can do things like have the robot drive around and take images or video feeds or audio, voice interaction. So specifically sort of AI, ML, we have the ability to load models into Misty herself, so she can do a lot of that on board. Or she connects to your Wi-Fi network and you can use her RESTful API as a developer to send, say, an image up to the cloud to Microsoft Cognitive Services or Twilio or something else and run your processing there. So your application could be something fun in your house, like play with your pets when you're at work, or it could be something very serious, like monitoring something in a warehouse.
Great. I mean, my dog's sat at home at the moment by himself, and I've looked at him on my camera looking rather lonely, so I would quite like to have a Misty, just keep him some company. So what is your favorite robot skill made from Misty so far?
Oh man, well, we have like one that's like really, it's kind of silly, like it's not serious at all.
I like silly.
But our developer basically trained Misty to follow a ball, this ball, and you can kick it around. And
Misshapen.
Yeah, and he turned Misty into a Minion. So he changed Misty's eyes to be the Minion eyes, and it thinks, we actually have another one that's red, and it thinks it's a tomato, and it follows around the tomato and like starts singing like Minion songs and stuff. I don't know, just some silly stuff like that is pretty cool. More serious, we had there's a team that works with kids with like learning disabilities, and they put their software onto Misty in a couple days, and these kids are interacting with Misty in sort of a Wizard of Oz fashion. So they found that these kids respond much better talking to a robot than an actual person. So they sort of speak through the robot. So that's like a really cool application that's it's in use right now that's more serious.
That is really cool. So I've been told that developers can learn how to develop robot skills for Misty in the new Twilio Quest free game, is that right?
Yeah, definitely. And we're doing developer sessions here at Signal. So a developer can sit down and in 20 minutes start writing a skill for Misty. So we have like some of our tools here in the background. It's basically just a website. You put the IP address of Misty into the tool, and you can like basically interact. You can train your face, you can drive her around, and then there's another tab here where you can actually see the code and then write a skill that runs on the robot autonomously.
Wonderful. So speaking more generally about the robotics industry, Gartner on their most recent hype cycle from 2018 had robots going into the sort of peak of inflated expectations at this point. Is that a sort of position that you agree with?
Well, I think we're at this point. I mean, our strategy is quite different than some of the other companies in that we're not trying to figure out what the killer application is for Misty ourselves. We're getting this out to the developers so they can be super creative and figure out what those applications are. So again, like we've had people that are super passionate about just creating fun things, like the demo I just talked about, but also like monitoring warehouses or looking for like taking care of their elderly parents, democratizing robots, so that we can get help from the whole community of people out. Just like the computer industry, right? Computers, like we were talking, didn't really do anything back in the day. You got a cursor, and you had to flip to page 11 of the Red Book for your Apple II and type in the program for Breakout. So we're at that same stage, so people can write skills for Misty, and then we go to consumers later on. But I think we are at sort of a tipping point of these robots actually being useful, and that's the most important thing. They have to be able to do useful stuff for us, not just novel things.
That's always about unlocking the creativity of developers. So I think the next best thing to do is to have a bit of a demo. Do you mind taking me through?
This is a demo of some of our tools. This is what we call Command Center. So with this, you can just visually scroll through some of the commands. So you can set like the LED color on her chest. Say green. Okay. Our LED changes to green. That's pretty cool. She's on the ground, you can drive her around, but you can move her arms. Say we want to move her arms down.
I'm already wanting to make an Iron Man version of Misty.
You can also train her face on your face to recognize you if you wanted to use that in your skill. You can change the eyes, she's going to get angry. And then from there, like once you've sort of played around with some of the functionality and wanted to turn that into a skill, you can go into the API Explorer. This allows you to actually generate code that then you can copy and paste into your skills. So we make it really simple. Documentation is really good. There's another section here. So that makes it really easy for the developer to create their skills. So again, you don't have to know like anything about robots or hardware. You can just to program the robot to do things in the real world.
Yeah. Well, I take it you can get a lot more advanced and start building in all sort of more AI and machine learning capabilities if you so wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can connect it with, like we did, I'll show you another demo here in a second with Twilio. There's another demo over at the Microsoft booth, for instance, where they are using computer vision. So they have a whiteboard set up, and you can write some text on the whiteboard, and then Misty takes a picture, sends it to Microsoft Azure, does image processing to take the text, and then speaks it back using text to speech.
Okay, so for this next demo, we're going to try texting Misty a command, and hopefully Misty should respond. So if we just try forward. Can I do sort of specific distances, or?
Yeah, you can put a number in. It's in centimeters.
Yep. So let's try forward 30 centimeters. Wow. Okay. And she's already off. Change LED to red. Wow, okay, there we go. I guess we better make her mood angry as well. I've got the red theme going on already.
I haven't actually tried this one yet.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That was a nice surprise for the two of us. So now we're going to try getting Misty to take a selfie of us.
We're going to take a photo.
Okay, so now we got...
Come back.
Oh, I like that. It says time to pose. I didn't see. Did you pull a duck face or?
Nothing too crazy.
Oh, there's the two of us. Very handsome, I think. I didn't say so myself. Well, that was Ian Bernstein from Misty Robotics here at Twilio Signal in San Francisco. So thanks again for giving me a demo today, Ian.
Yeah,
Thank you.